Morning, it's Patsy. So I've not been on for a couple of weeks, but my life has been pretty hectic. My eyes haven't been brilliant either, but hey ho, that's normality in my life at the minute. But since my last video, things have gone pretty downhill for us. We've had some worrying health issues come up with my mum. So it's been very difficult to kind of get myself in the headspace to do anything apart from worry, which doesn't do any good, does it? But I wanted to pop on today to kind of just touch on what I've been doing in the month of May going into June. I haven't worked with that many decks, not really. I had the new decks what I showed come in, the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, which I kind of touched on my last video about the Crones. That was kind of a bit of a disappointment. I was really excited about getting that, really looking forward to that coming out. But no, it's not what I thought it was going to be, let's say that. It's not as diverse and it's so body beautiful as I kind of touched on. So I've not really worked with that an awful lot. I've worked with it some and my opinion hasn't changed yet, but I should continue working with that and see how we go with that. The other one that I got coming was Tarot of the Owls. Again, I haven't really used that an awful lot. I like it so far. But I don't tend to work too much with animal energy, but birds, I think, as you can hear, I do love birds. That kind of works for me. The other one that I have is the Crow Tarot, which I love. So we'll see how we go with that. I haven't really worked with an awful lot to give an honest opinion. As with the Earth Whispers Tarot, I've pulled this a few times, and times that I have pulled it, I've really enjoyed it, but I haven't worked with it enough or done any spreads or anything with it to kind of gauge whether or not this is going to work for me or not. But so far so good with that one too. But the deck that I am going to show you, which took me by surprise, is one that I've been using all the way since I got it. It's from through May and still using now into June. And it's Tarot of the Sweet Twilight. Now, if you remember when I got this in my haul, I wasn't sure what I thought of it. That I'd seen a lot of people using this and saying how wonderful it was as a deck. When I got it, I wasn't sure. I've changed my mind. I absolutely adore this deck. Like I said, I've been using it for my daily draws. Now, when I do a daily draw, I do 3 cards. I don't just use one. I always use 3 cards. 3 tarot, 1 oracle, and this is the one I've been pulling. It deviates away from that Rider-Waite, but that just adds to it. So you get that intuitive hit from the images, because the images are so, you know, they talk to you so much, these images. So you've excuse me, you've got those images as well as the actual meaning of the card, and it kind of gels together to really work really well. And the colouring and the energy of this deck is just lovely. I mean, it just goes to show, doesn't it? I mean, when I first got it, I was like, oh no, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this. I don't know what all the fuss is about. Using it for about a month, and it's like, wow, I couldn't be without this deck now. I absolutely adore it. So yeah, I love this deck now, I really do. And just like I say, to kind of give you an idea of how it works for me, I'll show you the 3 cards that I pulled today. Now, to kind of put some into concept, as I said, my mum had some issues come up, health issues come up just after my birthday. The doctors put in an urgent referral to the breast clinic, and she's there today. She's being seen today, so it's been pretty fast. So the card for I always ask what the energy is around me, and we've got the 10 of Wands, and that is exactly how I'm feeling at the minute, with everything else that I've already been dealing with and trying to get my head around, and lots of other stuff what's been going on in my personal life and private life. I'd already started feeling like this, but today I woke up with this really heavy feeling of I just can't take much more. Do you know what I mean? It's it's just starting to become a little bit overwhelming. So that was pretty apt for the energy around me. So then I always ask what I should focus on, where should I put my focus? And I got the star card. So I thought that was lovely, have that hope. Don't think worst case scenario all the time. It may turn out not to be as bad as we think. So there's always that hope, there's always hope in life. So keep my focus on that today. And then I always ask, where should I not put my focus? Where should I take my focus away from? Not focus upon that. And I got the 3 of Swords, so that was pretty fitting. But this is the kind of message that it gives me every day, this deck. Always pretty on point, always delivers what I need to hear. So this is just a deck that has become such a firm favourite of mine. I will never part with this deck now. I'm even struggling to stop working with it because I'm enjoying it so much. So it just goes to show, sometimes, because I thought Tarot of the Witch's Garden was going to be wonderful, this one I wasn't sure about, and it's the complete opposite. So the oracle I've been using to pull with it is Oracle of the Dragon Fae by Lucy Cavendish. Now I do love this deck. It's not so keen on the backs, but I always, when I pull a card of the day, I always use an oracle that I need to go to the book to read, to put it into, not just add the keyword and that. So these kind of decks work well for my daily, excuse me, pollen, work well for my daily pulls. I'll always use one of these where I have to go to the book. And this one is just wonderful. It's dragons, it's Fae energy, it's just lovely. Gives some wonderful messages, very on point, very apt messages that it gives me something to think about. So yeah, this is the oracle I've been using with it, and I must admit it is one that I really enjoy using. So that is the oracle I've been using for my daily oracle pull. So another one what came in, which I'm just getting to know, which I'm absolutely loving at the minute, is Solitary Witch Oracle by, again, Lucy Cavendish. This is a new deck. I got this one coming from America because it's not available here in the UK at the minute. There's the backs, love the backs. And this artwork is stunning. This is just such beautiful artwork. I mean, just look at this. I mean, so I've been trying to get to know this a little bit. It's only been here a few days, but I'm really enjoying it. And as I am a solitary witch, it kind of seems, relevant to me, and the messages and that. I mean, again, it's one of those that you need to go to the book for. But again, like I said, some oracles I don't mind going to the book for. It depends what I'm using them for. This one I'm just getting to know, so I'm not really done any spreads with it yet or anything like that. But what I've pulled so far has been really relevant and lovely. So yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to see that, I'll do a full walkthrough on that because it is such a beautiful deck. And the book, what comes with it, again, is very good. But so I've been using that one for the last few days since I got it. And who are you? The universe asks. I am you, reply, the witch who walks alone. That's what it says on the back. So yeah, that's lovely. I love that one. So another thing that I got recently is this one, the Sacred Forest Oracle. And I love this. It's Denise Linn. Now, this has been on my radar for a long time. Don't like the backs. The backs just don't fit the deck. This has been on my radar for a while, but I wasn't sure. It was in my basket, and I kept looking, and I was like, well, I don't know. I just couldn't make my mind up. Then I saw that Sandra had done a walkthrough of this, so I watched it, and I said to her on the walkthrough, there's something about this deck I love, but there's some images I don't love, and I just can't make my mind up. So I said, I'll watch it again and I'll kind of note down what I like, what I don't like. and I did, and I went ahead and I bought it because there wasn't as many as I thought that I didn't like in it. And my goodness, is this deck a lovely, wonderful deck. I've done a couple of spreads with this. The keywords are wonderful on there, but I've done a couple of spreads with this, and they've been bang on, accurate, healing, wonderful messages that they give. And now this again is one of those decks that I thought I'm not sure about, but it's turned out to be one that is absolutely wonderful, and I will not part with this now. Been using it all the time since I've got it, and I do find when I am struggling with my mental health or struggling with stuff what's going on in my life, what I'm finding a little bit overbearing, I tend to pull oracles more than I do tarot. It's just easy for me to do, so that's what I tend to do. So the other ones that I want to show you, I've been working with this one a lot. Again, I very often pull that one, I'm in that dicky place, and it's the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Now, this one, I don't really see it as a tarot as such, and I will always revert to the book when, what's the back? Everybody's seen this. I would always read the book because the writing in the book is just makes this deck, I think, it's just wonderful. So I've been doing a lot of inner exploration, if you want, a lot of healing work with this deck because I think this is a wonderful healing deck. And when I've been able to journal with my eyes, I've been doing some journaling on this. And again, it's such a, it's a loving, caring, feeling deck, I suppose, but it still delivers what you need to hear. But it does it in such a way that it's healing, I suppose. It's got a healing voice to this deck, and again, its artwork is wonderful. I mean, some images I love more than others, but you get that in all decks, don't you? But the work is just fabulous. So I've been relying heavily upon this deck this last few weeks. So that is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. But I do think the book is what makes this deck extra special. So the tarot, the oracle I've been using with that is by Raven Feeling. It's the Messenger Oracle. I had this years ago, but I remember it being bigger cardstock, whatever. This one is tarot size, and I much prefer this one. The backs are gorgeous. This I can use just as an oracle for readings, and I've done readings with this deck, and it's been very on point, very healing, very loving, and very nice readings, but get to the point. And yeah, so I can use it like that. And I do like oracles that I can do full readings with, but I can also use it alongside the tarots. So like I said, I've been using it a lot with the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. But yeah, this one, I much prefer this newer version of it than how I remember the older version. And yeah, it's working wonderful. And this is now going to be a big part of my collection. I have got rid of quite a lot of decks these last few weeks as well. I think I've got rid of probably 60-70 decks through May. I was just starting to feel overwhelmed by all these decks I wasn't using, and probably getting a bit more picky about what I'm keeping and what I'm not keeping. There's still probably another 30-40 I can move along. It's just finding the space, the time rather, to do that. But yeah, so I'm absolutely loving that oracle too. So that is the Raven Feeling Messenger Oracle, and I've been using that alongside the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. When I've wanted a straightforward RWS to pull, I've gone this month, been working with the Druidcraft. Mine, I did trim and edge it when I first got it. But this is such a beautiful healing deck, but so RWS based that you know, there's no thought involved. You just pull the cards and, you know, you've got your your reply, you know. So I hadn't worked with this for a while, so I thought it was about time to work with it again and again. When you've got a big collection, this happens. Decks get pushed to the back, new decks take their place, and you forget just how wonderful some of these old decks are. And this is what I found with this one. It had got pushed to the back. I hadn't pulled it very often, and I forgot just how beautiful and how healing even these images in this deck are, and what a wonderful reader it is. So this is out now, and it'll be staying out in my little bag on my dresser to use as my RWS that I want at the minute, to clarify readings or what have you, or just to pull a few cards. So that is all my decks that I've been using. The last thing I'm going to show you is a book that I got. I was hoping to be able to get it on Audible so I could listen to it, but it's not available on Audible. So I've had to buy it in book form, which is going to be a struggle for me to read, but I shall dig in and out as I can when I can. And it's called Inheritance, and it's a memoir of genealogy, paternity and love, and it's by Dani Shapiro. It's her true story of her journey through finding out that her parent or father wasn't who she thought and who she'd been told and grew up thinking, and the shock of finding that out in adulthood. So this is something that I'm hoping is going to help me to find kind of some healing in my journey since my discovery. So it's got some wonderful reviews, and I've seen clippets what sound really, when I've seen them, it was like, oh God, that's just how I'm feeling. So I'm kind of hoping that there'll be some kind of healing that I will get from reading this book. It's just a shame that it's going to be in and out because my eyes just won't be able to take in it. That, and I wished it had been on Audible. It would have been so much better for me. But hey ho, you can't have everything, and I'm looking forward to getting able to read that. So that is what I've been doing. Not an awful lot, but these are kind of the decks that I've been working with. And my takeaway from it probably is, don't always, you know, disregard decks you're not sure about, because I wasn't sure about this one, and it's become such a firm favourite. And I thought I was going to be in love with Tarot of the Witch's Garden, and I really wasn't. So it just goes to show, doesn't it? But hey, so now I'm off, and thank you for watching, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.